Alrighty guys, I am Random Gamer and I am back here for a whole new type of video. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, and we are starting a little bit late. I want to start following along the live cycling calendar. So we're going to start off today with the Santos Tour Down Under. I'm going to ride as Jayco Alula. It's going to be one of their key race objectives of the year. We're only going to ride stage 1 today. These are going to be short, sharp videos ideally. I'll talk about what kind of happens during the race, or if it's stage 1, I'll talk about my predictions for the race. Stage 2, I'll talk about what happened in stage 1 in real life, and then what's going to happen in stage 2 in what I feel. Now, I do know all the results up until, I think it's the Alula Tour stage 4 is when I'm recording this. So I'm going to film all of these as soon as I can, get them all pumped out, and then we'll be up to date. For some of the bigger tours, like the Giro and the Tour de France, I might do a pre-video, like a video beforehand, just riding through random event or just ride the world titles or whatever, and just talk about my predictions for those kind of races. I won't do that for this Tour Down Under, largely because I already know what's going to happen. I won't talk about what's going to happen on stages 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever. I'll talk about what happened in stage 1, what I thought was going to happen in stage 1, and yeah, I will see how we go. I will do all the major races, and then everything else I can be bothered. Essentially, if they get English commentary, I will probably watch it. Now, I have loaded in a official start list. By that I mean, I created one. I looked at the official start list, so every team should have everyone. I think one person on one team I couldn't find. I've completely forgotten who it was and what team, but of everyone in here, it should be, I think it's like 130 or 33 riders. I think 132 of them are correct. Now, we don't particularly have a sprinter for this race, being Jayco. I think we're largely just going to be waiting around until Uradla and then Wollonga Hill as well. Now, I did grow up, and well, to be fair, I grew up in the UK in Manchester. I do live in Adelaide, which is where this race takes place. For the settings, I do have max difficulty the game allows. I haven't gone in and changed all the parameters to make it more than that. It's on extreme, it's on max setting for sliders, for falls. But yeah, I did grow up around the Santos Tour Down Under. I've watched every edition for the longest time. This year, I wasn't actually in my state. I was away working for the Australian Open, which is the major tennis event we get in the country. So it was a nice kind of change not being there, but I made sure to go and go out of my way to watch the replays every night. But as for what's going to happen here, we're going to be kind of chilling out for this first stage, and I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to planning on doing. These videos should be short going forward. They'll be 5-10 minutes, I'd imagine. I'll skip all the irrelevant bits. Through this stage, though, we might be talking a fair bit, so I'm just going to leave it going and kind of continue from there. This is taking longer than usual. I don't think it's happy with me running OBS. Which is what I film with. I will cut back once we're loaded. And we are here in, where do we start off? I'll have to wait for it to start. We're here in Adelaide. It'll be Greater Adelaide generally. We start in Prospect. That is incredibly close to where I live. But yeah, we do start here. For those that don't know, I am an Ineos Grenadiers fan, so there could be a bit of bias towards them. Yeah, in this stage, Jayco Alula didn't have much of an impact. It was a bunch sprint that kind of just ended in a crash with 3Ks to go. Plappy went down in real life. He was wearing the National Champs jersey, I believe, but Durbo's got that from, we've used the update since Durbo's won it. So imagine Durbridge doesn't have it. Imagine Plappy does. I will stop Plapp going out the back. Jesus, someone is absolutely drilling the tempo. Let me just pause and get this all sorted out. Durbo kind of gets a bit of respect just for having that jersey. Is there anyone near the back with Plappy? Harper and O'Brien. O'Brien might be our guy falling back to help out Luke Plapp, who's going to ride himself back onto the group in an ideal world and get himself to the front, preferably quickly. I don't know if in real life they were even sent a sprinter up to the front. There was a bit of chaos, which I'll go through with you in a moment. But yeah, I don't know if they sent someone. We might have a sprint with Stewart. Yeah, we'll have a sprint with Stewart. Hepburn can give him some shielding. Everyone else can kind of just chill out. I'm going to stop panicking and hope that Flappy gets himself back up to the front, or at least hangs in the group. Durbridge can just chill out here as well. I don't want everyone burning themselves so early. So I might just keep Flappy here until the group settles down. So yeah, we'll just hang out here. Do not a whole lot. I might have Durbo just follow Flappy all day. So, sorry if you get weirded out by the fact I just give everyone nicknames. It is much easier in my head, and despite being born in the UK, I grew up here. It's just the way things work in Australia. Everyone gets nicknames. Sheffield was either trying to go off the front or trying to bring them back, which obviously he's a little bit too good to be allowed to go on a breakaway on stage 1. But what I was going to go on about earlier with the finish is like the positioning of some of the riders was quite incredible. So Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe did really well positioning Welsford. With all the chaos going around, they managed to come to the front with 400 meters to go and just lead him out. There was one rider with him, but I've forgotten who it was. This was watched like 2 weeks ago, so memory's a bit foggy, but I remember it was a Bora Hansgrohe rider, followed immediately by, I think Walls was in the wheel, then Swift, then Brennan. And at the finish line, Welsford came through to take the win of stage 1, which becomes a bit of a common theme throughout this race. But Brennan managed to sprint up to second. Val's managed to sprint to third. I've put him down as Triple T. It's Toonton something. Riding for FDJ. Let me find them, and I'll see if I can get his real name. I have no idea. Oh no, sorry, he rides for Little. I got myself confused. Yeah, here, this guy. Will it give me his full name? No. Long story short, we don't know. Yeah, but he managed to do a strong sprint. I think he was not on the original group. He managed to overtake Swift, who positioned himself amazingly, but being 34, 35 now, just didn't have the legs to go with the sprint and was never, well, I say never, he started out as a sprinter, but just was morphed into something else by, the cycling higher ups in Ineos and Sky when he was there. Gonna get these guys to sit a little bit further back. You see everyone working for the Ochre jersey, which we don't currently have. In real life, they did do the I don't remember what they called it, but they had a little criterion a few days beforehand, which I think Welsford actually took out as well. That doesn't work. Yeah, Welsford took that out as well, I think. One of the Aussies took it out. But good ride from him. It was nice and chaotic, as most criteriums are. It was nice just to see people riding around in our city centre, because we don't usually get it. We're quite a small town in grand scheme of things. Despite being the capital of our state, we're not necessarily the biggest kind of city. So yeah, we get lots of cars through. We don't get many cyclists, especially when you can kind of ride out to the beautiful Barossa Valley and McLaren Vale, which is where a lot of these stages go. Gamaraka is not quite that far, but it's on the way out to some of those things. I'm not going to bother with the sprint. I don't believe we would try. I don't know, Brian's going to get us some water now. Probably should have looked at taking the best climbers points, but I feel like we're kind of all in on Platt for the overall, is what I believe they do in real life. Generally, I'm going to try and use a lot of the different teams, so really focusing on allowing every team to get used at least a few times. Sometimes on the smaller races, we might use one of the Conti teams or the Pro Conti teams, and just see if we can get them results. But yeah, like if we're riding the Vuelta, we probably will ride as Movistar or anything like that. Tour, we might use, what are they called? Team Jumbo Visma, but I don't think they go by that anymore. Yeah, Team Visma Lisa bike, and see if we can get Vingegaard a win against Pogacar and dethrone him. Couldn't tell. Love Pogacar and what he's doing for the sport. I'm quite sick of seeing him beat my boys from Ineos. I miss the days where we were quite good. Couldn't tell because I have a weird ageless voice. Some people tell me I'm only 20 years old, so I started watching cycling back when Froome was winning his like 4th Tour de France. So watching that and then watching the back end of the success and then the start of the demise, it was interesting. Can't wait to see us get back into some rich vein of form, and hopefully this is our year. As for the other jerseys that we actually did have throughout the tour, the first of the climber classifications we didn't really go through at the time. Browning and Marriage from Team Oz took it out, as well as Tronchon was with them still, and I think Tiotta, I believe he got it from the peloton. I think he was leading the peloton, and that's how he got the points. The breakaway was Tronchon, Marriage, and Browning. Browning and Marriage are not in this. I couldn't find a way to actually create the Australian team in this start list, so they won't be here. Yeah, it's just not something I could figure out. But Marriage and Browning both attacked on day one, got in the breakaway with Tronchon. By this sprint in Williamstown, which I used to work in, the points, Tronchon took that one out, Marriage took second, Browning took third, and that was the end, because it's 3-2-1 here, and unlike the Tour de France, if that's what you usually watch, here we just get 3-2-1 from first, second, and third across the line. And on the final, also in the second Cat 3, yeah, we had Browning, Mirage, and then it was Finn Fisher Black and Zwiehofer, both from the peloton again. They were controlling the front, looking to bring back the breakaway at this point. Whilst we're here, are you close enough? I might sneak up. Who would I let go up the road? I would let Schmid, but he's too far back. Do I want to let anyone? I might let Kellen O'Brien have a little vacation up the road and steal some points in the climbers classification. Off the top of my head, don't remember what they were. I know GC is the ochre jersey, which is a weird kind of dusty orange sort of color. Gonna maybe slow down a little bit, although. Are you trying to come around me? No. Okay. I was scared. But yeah, weird kind of dusty color. I will check what color they were and let you know at the start of the next episode. 27Ks to go. Still another sprint, which I found they put so oddly close to the finish, because in real life they did not actually have this third sprint, I don't believe. I didn't notice it if they did, and I don't have the results down in front of me. But yeah, on that, yeah, Browning and Mirage took out all 3 mountain points and both of the points jersey things, although Tronchon took first in the first of them. No one else really solidified themselves as anything crazy. Browning took the um, Climbers jersey. Marriage didn't really get anything. Got some points, but he didn't do anything crazy on the front of having a jersey just because you get 25 points, sorry, for crossing, or 30. It might have been 25 in real life. I don't know why I've got 25 stuck in my head. But 25 points for crossing the line first. I think that's likely. We will ride a full sprint chain from the top of this hill across, and we'll ride it full sprint train down through the sprint point, and then Plappy will deliver to the line. Might see if I can sneak a little water in. I think I left it a little bit too late. But here we go. Who's up here? Durbo is going to sit the front, and then we're going to try and get everyone else up here as soon as possible. Harper can sweep the wheel. Happy can jump in. Durbo we wouldn't ideally have on the front, but he's the only one we actually have up here. So he's going to try and get closer to the front. O'Brien's going to do what he can on getting us some water, which I've left unbelievably late. I didn't really need to do it. I probably shouldn't have, but that's okay. I don't want to drill the pace on the front. I just want to be up near the front, get the boys up. Phil Bauhaus is here. He's one of the key sprinters, as well as his Zwihoff. I don't know who I'm looking for. I just can't find any of them. I don't have any control over who they decide to ride for, because in real life, Van Poppel was used largely as a teammate. Cockard came. Weird gap opening up there. Corbin Strong had a very underwhelming tour. Wasn't overly noticeable throughout the whole thing, which is disappointing because everyone had quite a bit of hope for him. We're going to see if we can squeeze through without dropping everybody. That is better. Energy drills on everyone. We're just going to come to the front, lead everyone down. We're not going after a stage win. We're just going to roll through, sit the front, and hopefully get something done. O'Brien dropped off the back. Trying not to pause, but I'm just so used to playing on my own that you can kind of pause whenever you'd like. Realistically, we'd sit back with about 1 kilometer to go. Everyone's just sitting in the wheel. Bauhaus is leaning out or just trying to sit a wheel. Not too sure what's going on there. At this point, we've done our job. Durbo has decided to go for a little sprint effort. We've managed to stay safe. Plappy's still in the lead group. We might be able to force a gap. I doubt it. That was a 5-second gap back to this group. If they give it, it could be interesting. Is anyone back here? I'm going to have a check, and I'll include it. Vals, who got, I think it was third? Yeah, third on this stage in real life. Not Jasper Phillips. I'd know if I put Jasper Phillips in. Balcom Mollema fell behind. Van Baal, he was attacking earlier. Geraint Thomas. Vanderlee. Yeah, I will have a look. That feels like it was a crash that I just didn't notice. The whole Ineos Grenadiers team is back here, pretty much. No one else I particularly notice as being behind. Lawrence Pithy I saw somewhere. Mosca, who I believe, yeah, he ran it out the top 10 in real life. When did that split happen? We were fine there. Somewhere there. It's here. Mahudo just gives up the wheel. And that creates gap 1. And then from there, these guys must have fractured. Unless this splits again. Oh, so yeah, that group of 85 must have fractured again. Because I don't think we caused any sort of split. Oh, these guys might have all waited up for teammates, or at least a few of them. Yeah, that was the end of it. And these guys are all in panic mode. Did we cause that split? I don't think we did. Let's have a quick look. The split happens somewhere back here, but we're still not on the front yet. Is this where it happens? Once we find out where it happens, I will pause and have a look at whether it is our fault. Everything gets strung out there, and I'm not quite sure why. And then everybody sits up. Is that as? It's as we're about. It's the sprint. The sprint caused the split. Everyone sits up, and then they start to panic after the sprint. They expect everyone to come back, but it's just too big a thing. This is just the nature of the game. I can't do a whole lot about it. We would have drilled the front anyway. That wasn't something we did just because that split. Like, I did not notice there was a split. We didn't try and force one. No one tried to force one. That's game coding that I can't do a whole lot about. Hopefully that doesn't have too much of an impact on the Ochre jersey at the end. I would hate someone to have lost all that time on stage 1 and then deserve to have won it later and it not come to pass. But that was, I believe, a successful stage for us. People going out the back, time lost. It's all we kind of wanted. And yeah, Plappy's safe and through to the next one. Thank you very much for watching. And once we get through, thank you very much for watching. Ryan Mullen wears our kind of climbers jersey. Young rider Plappy is going to go for that as well by default. And then Tobias Anderson Lund. I think it's Lund Anderson, surely. I get confused with some of these names. Anderson from Van Poppel, from Brennan. Who is that? Oh no, he got second in real life. Slight relegation. Corbin Strong gets a better result than he did necessarily in real life. Tim Torn Tutenberg, that's the one. I just haven't written down his T2T. Can't be particularly bothered. No. Welsford. I don't know where Welsford is, but he's down here in 35th. I'm going to assume he did a lead out for someone else. Either that or it just went horribly wrong. Oh yeah, I think he just did the lead out for Van Poppel. Is what I'm assuming happened there. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Hopefully we'll see you in our next stage.